Since I retired in 2022, the question I'm most frequently asked, who's the greatest jockey you ever rode against? Question I refuse to answer. But I have no doubt in my mind who the most naturally talented of the whole lot was. I've come to Oberstown in County Meath to meet this talented genius as we build towards the 2026 Cheltenham Festival. Paul, thanks very much for agreeing to have a chat with us.
No problem.
To say you were bred to be a jockey is a bit of an understatement. Your father, the late great Tommy Carberry, your mother Pamela was a Moor, very successful horsewoman herself. It was always going to be racing for Paul Carberry, wasn't it?
Always from day one. So I say from when I was born, I was always going to be bred into it. Is right, but it was on ponies very early and fell in love with them straight away and fell in love with riding the ponies and stuff.
Your father was still riding when you were starting off on ponies. Can you remember much of?
Not a whole lot. I was probably too young. But I remember small bits, but more from videos and paper clippings than from actually live ones.
Yeah. So it was Thomas, then you, Mark, Philip, Nina, and Peter John. Nearly all of you have had huge success. Thomas now still having great success in as a trainer in Australia. Philip in France. Did your childhood growing up, you were always riding against each other?
Yeah, there was the three of us. They were close. It was a year. Thomas was a year older. Mark was a year younger. The three of us would have been sort of knocking around a good bit together. Mark was never too much into the riding. He always wanted something else to do. He ended up being a carpenter, probably the brainiest one to go do something else. But anyway, yeah, he done that, and myself and Thomas done a good bit of riding. And then when Philip was there, but then myself and Nina done a good bit with Nina when she was growing up. She was 10 years younger than me, but I used to go. I'd be on my hunter and she'd be on her pony. I was 16, she was 6, and she'd be following me everywhere. She was loving it. She was
trying to keep up with you.
Trying to keep up and made sort of do things she wasn't meant to do, but anyway.
Yeah, so growing up, there was obviously 6 years. Okay, Philip and Nina were a bit younger, but yourself and Thomas together, was there much rivalry between the two years?
Definitely a lot, yeah. Thomas can be very thick-headed, and when things didn't go his way, he'd get very thick, and there used to be a lot of that because the two of us had two different ponies. I'd Twink, and he'd Twink, and I had Minnie, a pony I got off Timmy Hyde, who was my godfather, who gave me a pony, and she was brilliant pony. But I think she was a bit better than Thomas's, so when our friends would be over, Simon Fair, Mike Foley used to come over, we'd see how high we could jump, and then my pony could jump the highest, and Thomas wouldn't like it too much. He'd throw the ties out of the pram, and we wore. But anyway, yeah, it was always a bit of rivalry there.
And then going on as well, obviously, okay, Philip was a bit younger, and Nina especially. Both won Irish Grand Nationals. And you said when Nina was 6, you were 16, you were bringing her along, she was going along with you, trying to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Did you get great satisfaction, just apart from being brother and sister, but watching Nina's career progress the way she did?
Definitely. And like all that, I always thought she looked out for them the whole time. But yeah, it was very good to watch. And I remember when she was 6, I put her up on my hunter, and the school and fences were outside the house window, and she was jumping my hunter over the fences, and my mother was roaring out the window, "Get her off that horse!" And Nina was loving it. Yeah, so then to watch her go on and win the Irish National and things, all the things she's done was great. I was hoping she would be the first woman to win the English National, but anyway, well done to Rachel, she got there.
Yeah, she was the first woman to ride in it for a long time, wasn't she? After I can't remember the lady's name years ago, but I always describe you as the most naturally gifted rider that I ever rode against. And no disrespect to Rachel as well, she was brilliant. What she achieved was unbelievable, but I would put Nina in that bracket as well as a female rider. She was just...
Yeah, she was class. She was always very good, yeah.
From when you first started noticing Nina come into the weigh room, after being there a few months, you thought she was there for forever. Like, she was so naturally talented as well.
Yeah, she gels in very well.
Yeah.
No, she's very good.
You're what, 10 years retired now since the fall in the stall?
Yeah.
And yet still family success is happening all over the world now with Philip and Louise in
France.
In France, and Thomas then just last year in Australia winning the Oaks.
Yeah, no, it's great. I was over with Philip and Louisa 2 years ago when Grand Cruise won the equivalent to the English now, or the French national over there,
Yeah.
which was brilliant. And then Thomas
Grand
won the
Steep, wasn't it?
yeah, the Grand Steep, and then Thomas won the Oaks there this year, which was a brave shout out to run a horse. He'd only won a maiden 10 days before that, and to go for the Oaks was brilliant now. So brilliant achievement.
Your father had great success as a trainer. Thomas is having great success now, and Philip. I'd say I know the answer to this, but did Paul ever want to go training?
No, I always thought as a younger fella that you either wanted to be a trainer or a jockey, and I chose to be a jockey. I think thought after races, after a riding career, it's a bit hard to get into being a trainer. If you want to do it, you want to start young, I think, and it takes a lot of commitment.
It was different back, sort of. Jockeys retired a lot younger back in 30 or 40 years ago, and now it's you can ride on into your 40s, which you did.
Yeah.
It's a bit late to be starting, isn't it?
It is a bit late to be starting. Like, you want to be doing it when you're in your 20s and when you're young and eager. Yeah, I was always want to be a jockey anyway. So
I suppose one of the things I admired about you when you were riding was, and I learned as we rode along together. If I seen you moving or going for your stick, there wasn't a whole lot left in the tank. You had that ability to get everything out of a horse before going from.
Yeah, I suppose I just had like the horse to be taking me rather than me have to push them, and a lot of times you're winning a horse and the horse wouldn't even know it had a race because you're not going to the well the whole time, and that's what I like to do. I like to keep the horse on the bride, keep the bit in them out, and give them confidence. And I think it's just when you do that, they do more. Then they do the more for themselves than they will going the other way. And like a lot of, remember when Charlie Swan told me at a very early age when my first hurdle winner was Random Prince in Fairyhouse, and I won by about 20 lengths or 30 lengths. And Charlie Swan said to me, simplest words, he said, when you're going well, stay going well. Yeah. And it stuck to my mind. So, and it's a true saying. So when the horse is going well, why go any faster for them? And it just fills them up, and it was the best advice I ever got. And
also your ability to get a horse jumping, that as well saved the horse's energy as well when you were.
Yeah, when they're when they're jumping well, they're gaining so much ground, and it's the same. That's the same thing. It's homeschooling them, giving them confidence, and teaching them the right way, and. You don't have to do much in a horse. You don't want to interfere too much. Is a big thing on horses. You know it yourself. So that's really it. You don't get in their way and just help them when they're wrong or whatever.
When you retired, Paul, you spent a bit of time obviously hunting. That's your second love, I'd say. Maybe first love. You did a good bit of show jumping.
I did, yeah. I'd done a bit of show jumping for a while, and then had a bit of fun doing that. But trouble with my knee for the last few years, and I got a new knee last year, so I sort of sold the show jumper, so I sort of ran out of time doing them. It's back hunting this year now. New knee now, I'm flying though, so it's a lot better.
And you've got other folks as well
I have
coming through, some juniors, very keen young Carberries as well.
A few juniors coming along, yeah. Casey Lou, LJ and Paul Charles were doing the pony racing last year. Paul Charles just won done one race near the end, done a local, and he won that.
Aged 8.
Aged 8, yeah. So he's mad keen. He's hunting mad as well. And Casey Lou was the first season. She had 7 winners, so she had a good time. And poor LJ had a couple of rides and a couple of falls, so she just took a stand back from that a bit now. I think she's more of a Clark than a Carberry in her at the moment. But she's a very good rider, so hopefully she'll get her confidence this year.
She will, of course, yeah. And I've seen Casey Lou. She's riding out in Ian Donoghue's. I've seen her riding bits of work and all that. She's got daddy's seat anyway. That's for sure.
No, she has. And Ian says she's everything. She's just me completely. He says.
Yeah.
She's very good over fence as well. She's very good to do.
Seen her schooling as she rides very well, and all her show jumping she did as a kid. That'll all help her.
Yeah. And hunting and the show jumping stand to her, I'm alright. She's very keen now, so hopefully now she could have got her licence this year, but I thought another year pony racing would just help her a lot.
Definitely sure. She's 16 now.
16
She's
now,
17 or 18. If she's loads of time getting it, isn't she?
Yeah.
Another year, more confidence, and
Yeah.
where are you going to send her to do her apprenticeship?
I don't know. She's riding out in Leeds. She's working in Leeds now at the moment, so
Yeah.
see what happens. She's happy there at the moment. So
When you matured out of ponies and it was on to the apprenticeship, you went to Jim Bulger's. Whose choice was that?
Dad's.
Yeah.
Dad's. I suppose I've done a lot of hunting more than pony racing, and Thomas was meant to get an amateur license, and then he got a bad fall when he was about 11 or 12, and he wasn't allowed to take out a license. So I had a hunter that was a thoroughbred, wanted to point him, so I got a point license before I got the apprenticeship license, and rode a few points in the bank race as well, and punches on before I went in the flat.
Did you ride in the Fox Hunters in Aintree before
Yeah.
you went as an apprentice?
Yeah.
What age were you rode in the Fox Hunters?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then
like Dad was saying the pony racing was too dangerous for me, but he let me go over the Aintree fences.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I remember you telling the story about your saddle being carried out that day. You needed a wheelbarrow to.
That was the point. He 13 stone, and I was about 6'11" at the time. So I'd 2 lead bags, each with 2 stone, and then a saddle of 2 stone. So he was carrying 6 stone dead weight.
Oh, gee.
And I bet John Barry by a short head. And my first ride.
And as your time on the flat with Jim Bulger, did you find that Bulger's hard work or?
No, I suppose I was young and a bit up for the crack and that. So I had a good time there. But I was there with a good bunch of lads as well, like myself, McCoy, were there, Shamey Heffernan, Willie Supple, Christy Roach. So you're learning off good people. They were good. Good few, there was about 7 or 8 apprentices there at the time. So you had to be good and you had to try hard and try with your style and all of that. So it was interesting. It was good. Definitely taught me a lot.
Your style was so many. When I was growing up and watching racing, you're about 8 years older than me. When I started riding, I wanted to ride like you did, and so many lads did. Now I learned very quickly that I was never going to be able to ride the way you did. Your father rode very similar to you as well, didn't he? He rode short. That style you developed yourself. You were comfortable with that stuff.
Yeah, very comfortable. I think myself and Richard Hughes were sort of starting at the same time. The two of us sort of got the same sort of style. I don't know, just it's just what suited the two of us and worked for us. It felt comfortable.
Yeah, it didn't feel comfortable for me anyway. What was the big breakthrough for Paul?
I think probably the main one was Rhythm Section beating Heist in Cheltenham in the bumper. So I was claiming 5 at the time, and Charlie Swan was his #1 rider at the time. And then after that, he said he didn't need Charlie anymore, and he gave me the job as first jockey. So it was a brave move by Noel, but anyway, it worked out well.
Yourself and Noel built up a formidable partnership. Then after that, those times, I remember when I started, the first person I went to when I came back from England after shows up and I wanted a job, Noel Meade was champion trainer, and basically said no, there was no room for you. You were obviously stable jockey, you had everyone else. But you had a great relationship yourself and Noel through the years. Yeah,
it worked very well. Very, very good friend, and we understood each other. I knew the horses very well and knew what way to ride them, and it sort of worked like, it worked very well for the both of us.
I remember obviously riding against you in that, but everyone had this opinion of you as being a hold-up rider and all that. But you were brilliant from the front as well. There was no, it didn't have to be you enjoyed the hold-up one more than the front one.
I liked being able to see what's going well and sort of get on a horse that's going well and be able to bring you there to the end. But I had a good few, I remember even on the flat, I used to ride a horse called Keifa, is it? For Noel, and she won a couple of listed races in Leopardstown, but I used to hold her up in front and then just start from about the 2.5 mile pole in Leopardstown, and she'd always catch them all asleep and then she'd win. I used to love doing that as well.
Yourself and Noel built up a fantastic relationship over the years. He's had your ups and downs. Noel was unbelievably loyal as well, but I think Noel realised what he had as well in the stable jockey, in your talent. But did it always work well? You were always...
It did. Most of the time it worked very well. Like the odd time we get mixed up and things wouldn't go the way, but most of it was very good and sort of paid off. A lot of real good days come out of bad days, so they overruled.
That's racing, isn't it? The
Yeah,
good
that's
days
it. You have to take the good days with the bad days. Take the bad days with the good days. But no, we'd like I could be going racing, he'd ring me up, and before he'd say anything, I'd know what he's thinking. Pop this one out or drop this one in. So we sort of both knew sort of what we wanted out of the horses or what way to ride them. So that just helped.
So the old saying is, you should never give a jockey instructions. A good jockey knows what he's doing, and a bad jockey can't carry them out.
Can't carry them out. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway, so there's not much point in telling me what to do.
No, exactly, yeah. But you knew from Noel's the horse you were riding and the feel you got off them. And
sometimes you get a different feel going down to the start, so sometimes you have to adjust. If the horse is a bit keen going down, you say, oh, better drop this lid in and keep him quiet. Or if he's a bit lazy, I might pop him out. So you have to sort of run with them sort of decisions that you make yourselves.
You've always had the confidence, though, in your own ability to do that. Some other lads getting started but just do what they were told to do, but it's having that confidence and that belief as well that you know what you're doing, you think you're doing the right thing, and if it doesn't work out, you're not going to come back into a trainer that's not. Noel had your side as well. He was...
Yeah, exactly. And like you only... Like I knew I was good enough. It just had to be, if the horse is good enough, I said, I know the way I'm riding him is the best way I want he's going to be ridden, so it's just sort of the way I went with it.
Paul, I suppose we were very lucky, you especially, to ride in a generation of a golden era of national hunt jockeys. You were up before me, obviously. You were only like Richard Dunwoody, Charlie Swan, Norman Williamson we talked about, all the way through Ruby, Barry. There's so many names to mention, you're going to leave a few out, but it was good. There were good weigh rooms, weren't they?
Brilliant. It was brilliant. It's great. It was very good. Like, it was very tough. You had to be very good to keep your job or whatever. A lot of good riders around. It is changed a good bit now, I think. But when we were riding, it was more spread around. But nowadays, I think you've only the top yards, and you have to be very good to be in there. And that's why it's harder for a lot of. There is still a lot of good jockeys out there that are finding it hard to get good rides as well. But I was lucky. I had Noel to back me up, and but it was you had to be at your best the whole time.
Back when I remember when I was growing up watching racing on TV, and you were riding. Back in those days, Richard Dunwoody and Graham Bradley and the likes used to come over every Sunday and pick up good quality spare rides. Like, for example, if you were out injured or suspended, I think Richard Dunwoody rode a lot of winners for Noel. Yeah. That doesn't happen as much nowadays, but I always remember the way room was you were the brilliant to ride against, and tight. You kept it very tight as well, but you left everything out in the track. Nothing ever. I don't remember too many occasions where back into the weigh room anyone really where there was too much said. But I remember one day in Punchestown, I think I was still claiming 5 at the time, and I got 2 good rides for Jesse. Horse in the beginner's chase and a horse in the maiden hurdle. You were riding the favourite in the maiden hurdle, and I remember turning in Punchestown, Barry Cash is in front, and you're sitting right behind Barry in a slipstream, and I came around the bend and I said, I'll keep Paul pinned in here. So I pinned you in, and you went to come out, and I said, not today. Next thing, you took a pull back, went back, I went forward, jumped the last, you came back, arse in the air, saying, not today, not today. You often remember riding with, you'd chat away during the race.
Yeah, definitely, keep the banter going.
Yeah, I'd be like, you should hope I'm not enjoying what I'm riding here. Yeah.
But even if myself and Ruby and Barry be talking to the race, and so with you as well, if sort of the first part of the race, if they're going too fast, one of us is out, these are going quick here, or they're going slow here, like that, and you sort of think to yourself, yeah, probably they are, and you just sort of judge the race from that as well, and sort of things like that.
The weigh room was, we talk about it, we great times on and off the track back in those days. It's completely changed now.
It was great fun back then.
You had some 14 Cheltenham Festival winners. You had some fantastic winners in Cheltenham, obviously, but a few rides that really just stood out. I remember watching the first one, I suppose, was Frenchman's Creek in the, I think it was the William Hill handicap chase on the thing. All the way through to Belvano, which I think was one of your last festival winners. But that Frenchman's Creek ride, I watched that back. I hadn't even started being a jockey in them days, and I watched that back so many times. That was...
Yeah, if you watched the time I rode him before that, you'd probably realise why he was so good that day.
You got it there too soon the time before?
I took it up going out to the third last or something and he stopped. So I said I won't be doing that again, so I just had to ride him with loads of patience that day and jump like a buck, jump great the whole way, and I was able to take a pull going down the hill. And I think if you're able to do that in Cheltenham going down the hill, if you're able to give them a breather, you have a good chance of winning. So I was able to do that.
But you're taking a pull and you're still about 15 lengths off.
I know, but you're reading the race, you're thinking they're going to stop.
You don't have gone too quick in front.
Yeah, they're going to.
And that was just confidence in your own race reading ability and your own ability and what's underneath you as well.
Yeah, you know what you have. And he had plenty left at the time, so I was happy where I was. So.
Of all those, we'll talk about some others in a minute, but of all those winning rides, which one gave you the most pleasure of all your festival wins?
Probably Belvano.
Yeah.
I looked every winner you get in Cheltenham is brilliant. But because I met Mr. Henderson on the Tuesday when I was weighing out. He said that he had a horse for me to ride in his father's race, and he says you're winning him. I said grand, and I told him how I'd ride him, and that's the way I rode him. I told him I'd tell him he'd another lap to go when I turned in. So I said I'll trick him for you. So he says you do that, you win. So it all worked out.
The one race that eluded you through your career in Cheltenham was the Gold Cup. You came agonisingly close on a few occasions. Yeah. Florida Pearl was second to Looks Like Trouble, who you'd won on the year before in the
Sun
Alliance. Harbour Pilot came close a few times for Noel as well. That incident with keeping best mate in turning for home as well. Was Florida Pearl the closest?
Yeah, he was second. He was and then I was a third in him as well. I was second in him and Speed for Salmon third and Harbour Pilot third. Yeah.
Did Florida Pearl not quite get home in a Gold Cup?
No, he's just too much class for it, I think.
Yeah.
Just too much speed. Unfortunately.
If he was around nowadays, he'd be running the Ryanair.
Yeah.
Harbour Pilot.
He probably ran the race of his life that day when he was third. He ran real well. He was just one of them unlucky horses, especially for me. He broke my leg off him in a maiden hurdle. Fell off him in a Hennessy at home. The second last where Florida Pearl went on to win, which I say I would have won. Missed the last in the Hennessy in England. Would have won, I think. He was a really good horse. He let you down with his jumping a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's just cost him.
The one I suppose that everyone talks about so much is the Archibald one. You smile, and I know I've heard you talk about this on numerous occasions. The one thing you'd change is you would have been going back instead of going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
At a crucial stage in the race.
Yeah, down the hill would have been taking a bit more time. He's so much class. He just moved there too quickly and got me into a position where I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And then Barry Cash came out, and then he got too much light. I think didn't help, and I'd be better off. I was turned in 10 lengths down. Would have suited him better than coming at them.
I think you proved the point the next day then in Punchestown.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, and I swear when you came back into the weigh room, you always never brought anything in off the track. You said nothing, you came back in, you might have been burned inside, but you never said anything. But your anger that day was clear.
You see, another grade one down to Swanee.
Yeah.
Anyway. Should have done what I always done, just done my own thing, but anyway.
It was the one time you listened and sure, look, these things happen. I would ask this question later on, but I think I know the answer to this. He was the classiest you ever rode, was he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was so quick over hurdles. Even at the fighting fifths there where he won, he just so much class turning in. Like it's just the same thing. He's getting you there so much ease. He never missed over a hurdle. Very good to jump.
Another one of these magical rides as well was the time in Kempton in the Christmas hurdle.
Yeah.
The Rooster Booster was gone and gone a long way.
35 lengths in front.
Did you just had to sit and wait?
I had no choice. Like I couldn't go following on him and then stop because I knew I had to wait and had to wait a long time. But I said he had like down the back. I said he has to stop. He has to stop. And then he started to stop. It's grand now. We go after him now.
When did you first make the move to go after him, turning in?
Yeah, I sort of moved up to Barry's Gurt, turning in, and then started to make a move so that we straightened up.
And were you confident from the back of the second last you were going to get him?
Yeah, once I started moving and I could see him started to slow down, I thought I had him then, yeah.
Your first Cheltenham Festival winner, obviously very special rhythm section. Your first ride in Cheltenham, just turned £5 claim, or you rode a winner the week before and lost your £7 claim. What was the feeling going over to ride so young a horse that was fancying it in a champion bumper?
I was excitement. I couldn't wait to get over and ride there. Hadn't been there before, so it was great. I think I went over with 2 rides, but yeah, that was great. That was very enjoyable.
Did your dad say much to you before your first ride in Cheltenham? Did he?
Dad never says a
I
whole
know,
lot.
yeah.
He let you find your own feet. He give you a bit of advice, but he wouldn't say a whole lot.
You found them fairly well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You say that Belvano was the one that gave you probably the most pleasure of all your Cheltenham Festival winners, the ride. You'd never sat them before.
No.
Nicky Henderson had told you, I don't want to see you until
Late.
very late, which is fine. You know then what Paul Carberry's going to do then. Did he give you the feel the whole way through that race?
I wouldn't say that. No, I jumped him off near last anyway, but he's got him jumping. He started to jump well. I suppose later on in the races you sort of felt you had something, but at no stage you think right, it wasn't certainty or anything like that. But he just sort of came alive at the right times, and like everything Nicky said happened. Like he was right about way to ride him. He says you hold on to him, he'll keep coming, and he'll start coming alive. And I suppose when you give the horse that much confidence, they sort of run above their merits as well. So
yeah.
I think that sort of helped as well.
And when you're riding a horse like that has let connections down a few times before, there's never a stage when you're on their back that you're going to go, this is not going to come off the bridle, this is going to win. Because you're still thinking, I've given them every chance, but when I
press the button, is it going to be there?
Yeah.
And that was the same. Like jumping the third last, I took a pull of him again coming down the hill. So that's definitely, I think, there's a big help in them sort of horses when they get a breather into them. And they didn't have to move into them after the last.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do, but
it is not. There's not many lads can do it.
No,
I tell you.
No, but there's ones I like. I enjoy doing that.
And then a race like the Grand Annual is made for that kind of ride sometimes as well. They go so fast.
Yeah, they're skelter. And you have to take a chance. If you miss one or two, you're in trouble. You're on the back foot straight away. But luckily enough, that he didn't.
Yeah, when you do a hold up ride in a big handicap, you need things to.
Yeah, you need things to go your way.
That's the same for every race, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is nowadays. Yeah.
You need a bit of luck. If you're not lucky, you've nothing.
No, you need a look.
We've talked plenty about your success in Cheltenham, but you weren't the only Carberry to ride big winners. I remember Philip winning on Sublimity.
Yeah.
And Philip won. Did Philip win a county hurdle as well for in Barry Connell's colours for Tony Mullins, was it?
He could have, yeah.
I think he did, yeah. And then Nina, obviously, she had fantastic success. Her first winner was
Dabaroon, was it?
Dabaroon for Paul Nolan,
yeah.
Again.
No, it's brilliant to watch, yeah. And she was actually past me turning in. I was riding one of those. It wasn't the Triumph, but it was the other. It was the
Fred Winter.
Fred Winter, I was boosting around, kick on there, Nina.
I remember that at the Tuies at the top of the hill when you were congratulating her as well. It was.
That was great. Great to see her for them all.
And she was riding Dabaroon to claim off him as well.
Yeah.
They wanted to claim the £5 off him, and amazing the way the 2 years rode their first Cheltenham Festival winners claiming five as well. Yeah. Most £5 claimers can't get right in Cheltenham.
Worked out well.
And then I suppose she made a great name for herself in the cross country race.
She did, yeah. She got a great run out of it, and in the fringe, on the fringe, and a couple of other runs.
Garden Petrol was one, yeah.
She it's a great time over there.
He was bought to be a Grade 1 sort of champion hurdler. Ended up being a
Banks horse.
Still
got to win in Cheltenham.
Yeah, he won. I think he definitely won a couple of times, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Won 3 maybe. 3 or 4.
And Phillips champion hurdle win in Sublimity. Did you ride in the champion hurdle that year?
No, I think I might have been injured. I think I was injured that year.
Was that the year you got the fall out hunting or not?
I thought.
Paul, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for me to sit down and talk to, as I said before, the man I think the most gifted natural talent I've ever ridden against. But by the sounds of it, there could be a few more naturally talented stars coming along.
With a bit of luck.